Hi there, Phil Simborg with a typical problem of run or stay. Red is on roll, score is 0-0 to 11. Red rolls a 6-3, and he has several choices. He can, of course, make the ace point. I always like to point out the worst play to my opponents. He could run from 22 to 13. He can bring two checkers down, he could bring two checkers in, he could bring one down, he could come out part way and come in part way. Lots of plays. What's your play here? Give it some thought. In case you can't read the pip count, it's 120 to 123. Blue is ahead before the roll. Okay, have you made your decision? Well, first of all, let me show you what's right so that I sound like an expert. It's right to run here. You rolled 9 pips. You were down 3 before you started. You're up 6. It's really about an even race. It's really hard to tell whether you should be racing or not, but there's other criteria involved that will tell you whether or not you should stay or run, and as you can see, it's right by quite a bit to run. There are the variables that you look at. Of course, race is one factor. There's several other factors. Actually, I've made a list of them that I use in my lessons to discuss this very issue. Here are the major considerations on whether or not you break an anchor. The race is, of course, a very important one. Timing. Who's likely to break, crash, or leave a shot first? Let's take a look at the position again. And if you don't run now, Blue's got lots of checkers to play. You're probably going to be breaking your 13 point soon, and you're going to either be stuck here or forced to run off of here with one checker anyway. In the meantime, Blue is going to make his bar or simply bring checkers in and make points behind you and bring them in and just play comfortably while you're stuck here, and when you finally do run, it's going to be too late. So the alternative is not great. By the way, that's another factor, the alternative play. What else can you do? What's the alternative? How bad is the alternative play to breaking? In this case, the alternative is pretty bad. The alternative, really, the only one that really makes sense is breaking the 13 point. You completely lost outfield control. You make it easier for your opponent to play a 1 to here and a 2 to here, or even end up leaving one checker here to where he can more easily make his bar point, or make the 9 point and block you even further. So giving up the midpoint also, that's a safe place for you to run to. If you roll a 9, you've lost that as well. So the alternative is not really good, the alternative play. Enemy board strength, your board strength, the ammunition to attack the checker. Let's take a look at that. When you run, he can only point on you with 5, 3, or double 5. He can only hit you loose with a 5, a 3, or a 10. If he hits you loose, and by the way, is he going to hit you loose? I'm not sure he's even going to hit you loose. He may be forced to, but he's not going to be really happy about getting hit back with this 5' over here on this side of the board. But if he does hit you loose, you're going to hit him back quite often. How many times are you going to hit him back? Knowing these odds is important. Well, there's 11 times you roll a 3, plus a 2-1, plus a double 1. 14 times you can hit him back. That's quite a bit. And if you don't hit him back, you can still come in with a 1 or 2 and still be back in this game. If he hits you loose. Even if he points on you, you're not dead. So everything screams and points to running here, except the race isn't really clear. If you were up a few more pips in the race, it would be really, really obvious. And if it would be really, really obvious, there'd be no point in my showing this to you. It wouldn't be as good a lesson. Just to review very quickly the other factors you think about is diversion. If he has a checker on the bar, it might be a better time to run, or if he has blots to clean up, it might be a better time to run. And also, you need to look at cube decisions. If you run and he can double you because you ran, then maybe it's wrong to run. If you run and get away with it, and that gives you a double that you wouldn't have had otherwise, then maybe, again, that's a good reason to run. So how it affects the cube is very important, and also how it affects gammons. There are certain scores where you just can't afford to run because the increased gammons would be too costly. There's other scores where gammons don't matter, where it's right to run because gammons don't matter or don't matter that much. Hope this was helpful to you. Keeping those criteria in mind will apply to many situations where you're deciding whether or not to break an anchor, and it's one of the most common and difficult problems in backgammon, making that decision. Those criteria and maybe this reference position will help you. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.